My name's Penelope Garner. I use they, them pronouns. I'm non-binary. I am one of the DBS administrators at Cumbria University. And identity, that is a big question. The big ticket items, I have fibromyalgia, which is a chronic pain condition. I have undiagnosed ADHD, undiagnosed borderline personality disorder, and diagnosed anxiety and depression, and also hypermobility. So if I clack my fingers a lot, it is just because occasionally they need nudging back into the joints. My experience is that there's a lot of educating that I end up doing. A lot of people haven't heard of my conditions, or if they have heard of them, they've not heard of them occurring in someone my age who looks the way I do. And I get a lot of what I call stereotypical questions. The first one always being, have you thought about losing weight? And then the next one being, are you sure your doctor's right? I take the approach of I'm happy to educate about my conditions because I acknowledge that they're not as commonly heard about as if I say I had, cystic fibrosis. And so I have a go-to speech I go to when someone's like, what's fibromyalgia? And I'm like, first off, it's different for everyone. For me, it takes the form as constant, unending pain that I feel from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, if I go to sleep. It can take the form of headaches, it can take the form of joint pain, and it can be as little as just my shoulders aching a bit and my neck hurting, and when I stand up my knees will crack because I've been sat down for more than 2 minutes. Or it can go up to I can't walk or get out of bed. I think one of the things I notice is I get a lot of sort of sympathy. I don't want someone to feel sorry for me. I don't want them to say, that's so awful, because it's not. It's my life, and I'm proud of the way I live. I'm proud of how I manage my disability. And so I talk about, it's okay to have empathy, it's okay to say that must be difficult, or you must, go through a lot being in that much pain, but make sure you are aware of the difference of just feeling sorry for someone, because really what you're feeling sorry for is the idea that this could happen to you and that others, disabled people. One of the reasons why I use a cane even on good days is because it earmarks that disability. It publicises it in a way that other people recognise. They see a cane, they know what that means. But without it, they struggle to understand, oh, I can't walk that far. I can't just walk to the post office and back, even though it's only on Bowerham Road, because my knees can't do it. Unsurprisingly, being in pain all the time just makes you a bit miserable. And yeah, I'm depressed. I'm not in pain because I'm depressed because I'm in pain. And it's important for me that I make that distinction to people, because a lot of people are like, but don't you think you'd feel less pain if you were happier? I'm like, no, because on days when I am perfectly happy, and this is an actual example that I've had to tell someone, I got engaged last year. 2020. It was one of the only positive things to happen in 2020, let's be perfectly honest. And wonderfully happy. Couldn't be happier. I've met my person, and that person, for some unknown reason, wants to spend their life with me. Fantastic. Couldn't think of a day in the last year where I've been happier. But I still felt pain that day. The day I got my diagnosis, which actually only happened last year, they said, when you've been in pain for more than a year, when you've had chronic pain for more than a year, it is unlikely you will ever be pain-free again. And I said thank you. I think that's a moment a lot of people won't understand. But I left that doctor's office in tears because I could finally say, here's what's wrong. Here's what I have. I can go to an occupational therapist at work and say, here's what's wrong. I think I need specialist equipment to make working in an office environment slightly easier. And now, for the first time in my professional career, I'm getting a chair that's made just for me, that will fit my back and my legs and will mean that I can sit at a desk from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then be able to walk home. I've also learned that neurotypical people want me to keep my hands in this box, but you'll find the more animated I get, the more out here I get. It's been a long road for me, so I started noticing my most sort of noticeable disability when I was about 18. I am at the point in my life now, I'm going to be 28 in December. I cannot remember what it feels like to not be in pain at all. It's hard for people to see that. And the fact that I could walk in and sit down, and I don't have any noticeable assistant aids with me except for maybe my inhaler that people see me take out my bag every day. On a good day, if I come in and I look just like this, people won't know that there's anything different going on under the surface. People assume, oh, well, you can walk to and from your desk fine on Monday, so why on Wednesday are you now using a cane? And it's just like, well, because my pain's worse today, or because I dislocated my knee in the night and I now can't walk on it. Or maybe I just feel really tired and I could probably manage, but I don't want to. I feel more comfortable having that there. And I think this applies for lots of people with hidden disabilities, whether they're hidden physical disabilities like fibromyalgia or hidden disabilities like being neurodivergent, which I would count myself as neurodivergent as well. And it's hard to explain to people how your brain just thinks differently and how you process things differently and how it's important for me to structure my day a certain way, and then someone trying to pull me out of that can make me seem a little bossy. Obviously, a lot of the symptoms we look for in neurodivergent people, particularly autistic people, are the ones that we typically see in males. We see those behaviour most in boys and men who are autistic. That doesn't mean girls aren't autistic. It means that we show different symptoms. That's like saying anyone that has a cold who isn't sneezing doesn't have a cold. You know, maybe don't use the disabled toilet if you don't actually need to use the disabled toilet, just because you want to cut the queue for the women's bathroom. Because I can only use one of those. And that's nothing to do with my gender. That's to do with the fact that a disabled toilet has additional things in it. Make it easier for me to go to the bathroom. And I really don't like standing outside the toilet for 5 minutes because you didn't want to wait for a cubicle. And it's those little microaggressions that I think cause most disabled people problems, because for that person doing it, it's one thing, but for us, it might be the 20th time that day that we've had to re-certify our right to a space or to a service. I would love to see the network become both a social space for people with disabilities, a space where we can come together and take a breath and feel like we're in a safe space where anyone can tell their story and there won't be stigma, there won't be questions that they don't want. There'll just be, man, that sucks. I've had that doctor, try this one instead. That kind of hopeful, I've been where you are, or I am where you are, but hey, you got up today. And sometimes you need that. It's just someone else to say, do you know what, we got up today, and that's a start. And most importantly, like, for equipment you need, so like my chair, or if someone needs a specialist desk or a specialist screen, it's not cheap. And making sure people know, how can they get funding so that we aren't just putting all that cost on the university? How can we help with that kind of thing? It's things like that I think the network could be a real voice on, and we can look at where policies aren't great. And I'm not gonna lie, there are some. I love the place, but everywhere needs improvement. And actually saying, how can we tackle this? How can we make it so that instead of having 50 people hidden in different offices having the same conversation, how can we make that one conversation with the people who actually need to hear it? I just want to be able to say, hi, I'm Core, I work for this university, and I like my job. And it not matter if I am disabled or weird or queer. I just work here. That's all anyone wants. And I hope that's what the network can give everyone.